Did you know that movies and TV shows are not actually meant for entertainment? Yes, they are for making money, but more importantly, they are a propaganda machine used for social and perspective engineering. It's to showcase how much America loves its racism and cannot survive without it. In this series, we will take a look at titles with a diverse cast, and from there, we will explain how the propaganda oppresses minorities, women, and seeks to proclaim white supremacy. That's right. The major film company's #1 goal, aside from influencing elections and to make money, is to self-proclaim white supremacy while portraying other races as lower and less able than the white woman, though she is only surpassed by the white man, but will overcome any men of any other race. These rules are most easily spotted in movies that allow death in the story and are usually rated R. But don't get confused, as Disney movies and other children's media companies also engrave these stereotypes and propaganda in their productions. Let's name off a couple black tokens that I just cannot stand because they self-perpetuate this stereotype over and over again and set us back constantly. Chris Rock, always a token. Samuel L. Jackson, can't stand him, always a token, always playing these roles. Denzel be doing it too, but we'll move on to the actual point. What we may see in R-rated films as the death of a black guy, we will see in children's media as the black guy or kid being somehow defeated or ostracized in some way to make him irrelevant to the storyline, effectively killing him off. So though you don't get killing in the kids' movie, you get an effective death. Don't get me wrong. The days of the black guy dying first in the movie may no longer be true after the early 2000s, but the malice has gotten more diabolical and subliminal, and it holds in 99% of anything you see, including commercials. Let's establish some rules in which Hollywood follows when making a movie or production. Rule number 1, the white guy must be the hero. Multi-Euro casts will normally have whites from different countries, and the Irish person will be treated like a black person if there are no black people. But if there are blacks, then the Irish person will be superior to them, but be most likely to fraternize with the blacks. Rule number 2, the white woman must be superior in some way to all men who are not white, but may be superior to Irish men if the woman is not Irish. Rule number 3, any white man who is portrayed as less dominant or inferior to a black man in any way must eventually defeat that black man. I.e., if a black man is the white man's boss and is arrogant about his authority, even if he's not arrogant, then the white man must prove his black boss wrong somehow or take his job from him in some way to make the black man admit defeat, even if he dies in an honorable way. Generally, this black man must die. Rule number 4, if a white woman has a romance with a black character, then she must be punished, even killed. And the black man must be killed, or worse. Oftentimes, black men suffer 2 deaths or more from this violation. Like you'll see in the TV show Westworld, where the white lady is killed for being in a romance with a black scientist. The black man is killed for the first time by figuring out that he was never alive, and that he was lower than human, that he was a machine. Then he was killed a second time by being physically destroyed. Rule number 5. At some point, a white woman or white girl or a boy must defeat an adult black male in some way. You can see this in cop movies when a black detective works with a white woman and she is clearly portrayed as smarter and having the answer, while the black guy acts more as an apprentice. You can see the black man's defeat by a white child in movies or shows like The 100, when an athletic adult black male was killed by a 12-year-old white girl with a tiny knife for being in love with a white woman. You can also see this in movies where the black guy is the old guy, or sacrifices himself to save a white girl, or like in the movie Legion, when Tyrese, a black man, runs out to save the little white boy who tricked him and then killed the adult. Everyone in the store did nothing but complain about him being crazy for going out there. But when the white girl went out there into danger, another white woman said, "We have to do something." Then the cast decided a rescue was worth it. And in the very same movie, an old black man was killed saving a mentally disturbed white lady that was going to do something that she shouldn't have been doing But the message here is you can make mistakes because you can let someone else pay for them, so long as you are a white woman. This also goes to say that eventually the white woman will respond to her environment with an emotional response that normally ends up getting a minority killed, but she is forgiven because they are expendable. Rule number 6, how you are to dress the minority. When I say minority, I'm talking about the United States, because we all know that globally speaking, black people are in no way a minority. The black person, though, should be dressed to make a statement that separates him from the white cast. Whether his outfit is loud, goofy, sloppy, gangster, or out of place, any of these will fit the rule. Take the Disney movie Blank Check, which touches on rule number 7. Rule number 7 being that the black person should, if possible, not have a human identity. The Walking Dead plays on this by giving everyone a name, often first and last, but only gives the black man a nickname, TJ. And back to Disney's Blank Check, everyone has a first and last name except the black guy. His name is Juice. Everyone is serious in the movie, like when the feds show up, but the black guy is clueless and goofy looking. The white characters, even the boy, all wear suit and ties, while the black guy is wearing sloppy clothes that look like a bad Hawaiian tourist would wear it. Rule number 8, the ugliest black woman you can find. What does this mean? It means use the ugliest black woman you can find. And she has to be angry. If there are white women and a black woman, then the producers will make sure to find the ugliest black woman to play the token in order to make it seem like white women are more beautiful. You can see this in The Walking Dead, which touches on rule number 9, that black men must be selected that are generally out of shape to make them seem lazy. In The Walking Dead, the most badass black person is the ugliest black woman anyone could have ever found. Michonne. She is ugly, but is more deadly than any of the black men who are usually clumsy. But if they are skilled, then they will be mentally weak. You can also see this in The 100, when the black woman who taught Octavia how to fight was probably the ugliest woman they could have selected besides Michonne from The Walking Dead. I shouldn't have to say anything about that Ghostbusters movie with all those random women, and then the really ugly black woman. Rule number 10, if a black man is president or in equal position of power, then he must be shown to be unfit to lead. He must be voted out or overthrown because of his weakness and inability to lead. Then he must be dethroned by either a white woman, who will then be dethroned by a white man, or the black man will simply be dethroned by a white man. The black man must suffer humiliation and a dishonorable death in many cases. There's plenty more rules to this, and we will cover them all eventually. Try me. Name any movie with a diverse cast, and if I've seen it, I will tell you how it's racist and how it self-proclaims white supremacy. Obviously, I'm talking about mainly Hollywood and Euro movies, though Europe and Hollywood have racism propaganda. Europe's racism and white supremacy is presented slightly different. Name a movie. I dare you.